To this regular meeting of the Kaufman County Commissioners Court. Thank you for being here today. This is kind of an alternative setting for us. Our regular courtroom is being used by early voting, and so sometimes we have to makeshift and move out here. So I'm glad. I hope everybody's found their way out here. We may have some others that drift in here in a little bit. We'll begin this morning just in a moment, but if you would like to address the court at the beginning of the meeting, we do have a sign-in sheet here, and you can come forward and sign in, and then we will introduce you at the beginning of the meeting. Just a reminder in that regard, we do limit those remarks to 3 minutes, and we do ask you to keep them respectful. This is a meeting of the court. It's a public meeting, and we do ask that that all the remarks be respectful, and yet we certainly want to hear what you have to say. So if you would join me now with standing, I would ask Mr. Allen to give our invitation.
Father, we're grateful for this day. We're grateful for the rain that you've blessed us with this year. We're also grateful for your Son that you sent who died for us. Lord, as we make the decisions here today that affect our county, we pray that we do so with the best information we have and that will benefit the most people. We ask that you always guide us and be with our soldiers who are in harm's way, that they can come back to their families whole and enjoy life with them as we do here. Thank you again. In your Son's name we pray.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you very much. Okay. Signed up to speak. First would be Gerald Bradley from County Road 4074. So, Mr. Bradley, glad to have you with us. Why don't you come here in the court? Again, we'll ask ourselves, our court members, as well as the folks that are speaking to us to speak up so everybody can hear. We don't have a...
You got to forgive me, I have a throat impairment.
Okay.
I don't even know who my commissioner is. I'm precinct 4.
That'd be me.
My pleasure.
Yes.
I did intend to address the body. I just really wanted to come talk to you, but this is the way it turned out. I didn't mean to put you on the spot if it was seen. I called you earlier, I think back in December, about the conditions of our roads, and you responded by coming out and putting some rock in the holes, and we appreciate that, but it's gone. And what I'd really like to do is to convince you to reevaluate your schedule. I mean, we're desperate out there. People are driving in my yard. The right-of-way along my property I maintain, people are driving in the ditch to avoid those potholes. I know you're aware of this, but now I feel better having told you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next would be Lawrence Randall from Shadow Lakes. Mr. Randall, welcome back today.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be back here this morning. I just want to take the time to address the court one more time, to keep before the court the concern of the constituents in Shadow Lakes. What we're concerned about, as I addressed the last Commissioner's Court, is the adoption of the roads for the Shadow Lakes community. We feel within the Shadow Lakes community that an injustice has been done by someone within Kaufman County as it relates to the fact of the maintenance bond. Judge, we feel that the return of that maintenance bond set the stage for Kaufman County to adopt the roads within the community. With that maintenance bond gone, we have no recourse. I'm asking that this Commissioner's Court place the roads within the Kaufman County community on the agenda to adopt those roads. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here. All right, next is Jimmy Starr from 1648 County Road 4018. Starr, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Allen.
Morning.
Gentlemen, I have 48 signatures on this petition to have our roads fixed, 4018, 4019, and 4020. I have permission to quote Dr. Russell Marshall. The roads are so bad in that area, it's tearing their buses up. Not only that, it's putting the children in danger. Tim, Mr. Edwards down here gave me permission to quote him. They have 3 buses in the ditch that they've had to pull out. It's tearing their buses up and it's putting their children at risk. From my road, from my driveway to 1391 is a mile and a half. It takes me 35 minutes to go that mile and a half at 2 miles an hour. I have a 2015 Ford truck that we don't want tore up. It's the safety of the children and it really needs to be addressed bad. If you go down 4019 to the left or to the right from my place, it takes me 20 minutes just to get a mile. The roads are so bad. Mr. Allen, do I turn this in to you?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna do that, and I thank you gentlemen for your time.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Next will be Susan West of County Road 322A.
Good morning, and I'm gonna give you guys a breath of fresh air, because I'm not gonna say anything about the roads. Judge Woods, I would like to thank you and the commission and Kaufman County Sheriff's Department for the wonderful service that you have done for the bikers in Kaufman County. You have been there to support us in every way you can. When we came to you about the Kaufman County Hero Foundation, you agreed with us, the need was there, and you have stood by us on every ride, and every time we've tried to do anything, you've always been there, the same as the Sheriff's Department, and I just want to publicly say thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Next, Jimmy Weaver.
Judge, can I go last?
Yes, sure. Next would be Terry Newman, who wishes to speak concerning the seismic report.
I came before y'all, I think, meeting before last, asking to try to get a road bond to do our, there were some things when I was trying to, when I asked for censure too, I pulled that off the table. But I just wanted to give you a picture to show you about the size of the censures that we are gonna be using out there. And here's another bond that we've used as a Henderson County. And I'm trying to get something done with the DA's office, but I'm not getting any very much response. Is there something I can do? Is something I'm doing wrong?
We're not allowed to respond to you during this time,
Okay.
but the DA's office, I believe, are here, are they? We should have a representative from the DA's office. You're doing exactly what you should do, and
I didn't want to step on any toes.
I will follow up. That's really all I need to say, though.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Mr. Weaver, would you like to come next?
I just want to make an announcement to the court that I've listened to the public make comments about the roads and so forth, and I want to give appreciation for the work that the commissioners are doing, and also help some of the public understand that with the funds, the resources they have, and the fact that we've got road that can stretch to Houston and back, that there's no way they can possibly get these roads in the condition everybody expects in the short amount of time, and the weather conditions that we had. And another thing too, from an outside source, I also want to make a comment that there are some people outside the county that are noticing your work, and they're praising the fact that you are working as a unified court in an effort to move forward to improve the condition of the county. Now, a lot of people don't understand that you're operating on half the money that you had about 10 years ago. So, those considerations and the fact the weather's as bad, the road conditions are gonna be bad for a while. And a lot of patience needs to be paid to give these gentlemen time to try to get caught up with the limited amount of time and money that they've got. That's all I need to say.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. All right, next, we have the consent agenda. I don't have anything to give to you as far as routine correspondence is concerned. We do have the consent agenda. We have, I believe, 6 items on there. First would be the acceptance of the meeting minutes for April the 13th. Discuss and consider item B, it would be reappointing Judge B. Michael Chitty as Kaufman County's representative to the North Texas Behavioral Health Authority Board of Directors through January 31st, 2017. And also C is to discuss and consider approving the bond for Dennis Jones, County Court at Law Judge. D is to consider and discuss proclaiming the month of May as Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Month in Kaufman County. E is to consider and discuss approving deputation of Daniel Morgan for the Kaufman County Clerk's Office. And also F is to discuss and consider approving a project agreement with the City of Tallahassee for road repairs on multiple roads in Kaufman County Precinct number 1. Gentlemen, what's your pleasure?
Motion accept.
A motion from Commissioner Allen and a second from Commissioner Rosales to accept the consent agenda. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All right, those opposed. Item number 3 is to receive and discuss a report from Judge Chitty, Judge Blair, Judge Jones, and Judge Rich concerning the status of the Indigent Defense Program in Kaufman County. And I believe I saw Judge Blair. Judge, if you'd like to come forward, is Judge Rich?
I have not seen Judge Rich.
Okay. You'd like to join your colleagues up here in the
Come around.
box?
We're going to caucus in just a moment.
Okay.
Voting guilty or not guilty. Gentlemen, it's my pleasure and the pleasure of all the judges to be here this morning. Judge Wood asked that we give you some information about the status of indigent defense expenditures in the county. And I believe you have before you the same information I'm holding. Our auditor prepared that document showing indigent defense expenditures for fiscal year 2014 and the first 6 months of fiscal year 2015. And then in the box at the bottom, you'll see a comparison to previous years. Just a couple of observations. The courts have been working hard so far this year. I think Judge Blair has some numbers for you on number of case dispositions. But the jail population is down to about the lowest point it's ever been in the 12 years I've been on the bench. And I understand from the sheriff's office that the number of inmates that are being housed in the federal system has gone up substantially. January 94 up to March 140. And that's generating a substantial amount of income, I understand, for the county. So I think the state of indigent defense in Kaufman County is sound. I know the commissioners constantly have concerns about expenditures. We believe our expenditures are reasonable, and we are disposing of lots of cases. So you have the information. If you have any questions, I've asked Mr. Andrew Jordan to be here, our public defender. If you have any questions of his office, he's here to respond, or any of the judges will be happy to respond.
Gentlemen, do you have any questions of Judge Chitty or the other judges that are here, or Andrew?
I didn't get a copy of the amount of cases disposed.
Well, I don't think anybody has that. I think Casey just prepared that over the weekend.
I did. Here, made him do his homework.
We'll give these to y'all. I believe I have enough for everybody. And what that is, gentlemen, that's just the first quarter. You can see both the 422nd and the 86 listed right there for a total of 327 cases.
In both districts?
That's in both district courts. Of course, as I didn't get a chance to run all this over the weekend, but I can go ahead and tell you that's more than we've ever done in any one quarter. Okay, I've ran it back at least the past 3 years. Now, the next 2 pages, of course, broken down by each court. The last page is, of course, what it actually means. All right, I've started supplying y'all with jail chain numbers. I know Judge Chitty's been doing that for quite some time. It's a new thing that I've started in my court, where we're actually running our jail chain to see actually what those numbers actually mean. The whole point of this is to move these cases as efficiently as possible. So as you can see, when I first took the bench in January, my jail chain for the 86th District Court was 45 inmates. That was on January 27th. I just took a snapshot on that day. On that day, we had 45 inmates on my jail chain. At the end of that quarter, on March 27th, that was cut all the way down to 18 inmates that I had sitting in the Kaufman County Jail on the 86th District Court. It's quite a significant drop. Of course, I credit that to not only the DA's office, but also the Public Defender's Office and the Defense Bar, actually moving these cases through as efficiently as possible. So it takes, that's nothing, I didn't invent the wheel on that. That's takes all 3 of us working together in order to do that, so I commend them on getting our numbers down that low. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to hit that 200 mark every single quarter because I'm not going to have, that many cases that come through. We hit that because at one point when I took over, we had quite a large jail chain. So the fact that we got it down to there is a commendation to both the Public Defender's Office and the District Attorney's Office and the Defense Bar on moving those cases through. But the result of that is, of course, I know Chief Beavers can talk about too, the result of that is what that does to our jail. There's so many auxiliary benefits to that, not just the actual numbers that it saves, but how many beds does it open up over the jail? What can we do with those? Then of course, how many times those cases get brought over? It costs us time, it costs us money, and also it costs us a lot of security in bringing those people over every single time. The more times that we do that, that just ups our chances. So if I can shorten that down by any, which is what we're trying to do, well then of course that adds benefits too. But I'll be glad to answer any questions on that. And if y'all have anything ever, if y'all want to, numbers, see where those things come from. If you want to know where that indigent defense number, why it's high, sometimes of course it's high this time, well obviously because we disposed of more cases than we have in the past. So, but I'll be happy to answer any of those questions if you have any, gentlemen. Thank you.
Do we have any questions of our judges?
I don't have any questions, but I'd like to make a comment. I really appreciate the hard work y'all done in all the courts and the indigent defense. And it looks like that we're really making some headway, some good progress. Appreciate the hard work.
And I'll also echo that because that's really helping us with our budget.
Chief Beaver, you'd like to comment as well?
Yeah, just a short comment. I really appreciate the judges since they've come on board, plus the PD's office. They've done an outstanding job in my 6 years in administration and running the jail. They've done an outstanding job in reducing our inmates. And when they do that, our contract is only for 115, and we've already moved that to 140. So every chance we get to move that up, we're going to continue to move that up and try to make money to offset our costs out there. But without them, we couldn't, because they run the population in the jail. That's exactly what they do, is running their stuff. So they're doing an outstanding job, and I appreciate everything they're doing, because they're helping us a lot.
Judge Chitty, I believe you indicated this is probably the lowest population in our jail of our residents.
Yes, sir. Back in 2004, when I took office, the jail population was running about 550 average per month.
Which is a full jail.
Full jail. And I've told this story many times, but we've got new commissioners who may not have heard it. But we were actually having to farm out prisoners to other counties back during those years to the tune of about $250,000 a month. And so we've had a dramatic turnaround in our situation over the last decade. And we're running about half the population in the jail, and we're making money off the jail by housing federal prisoners.
Good. Judge Jones, you've been uncharacteristically quiet. Have any comments or anything?
other than what's been said before. I know that monthly, we judges meet and try to come up with new ideas. Like Casey said, we're not trying to invent the wheel, but at least we're going over the same info monthly just to see if there's anything we can do to probe here, pinch there, to see if we can do anything to reduce the jail population and at the same time hold the expenses for the lawyers to something reasonable. And we do that constantly as far as on a monthly basis. So it's not like we just look at these figures once every 6 or 9 months. We do it just about monthly. And these guys right here, we meet. Andrew meets with us whenever we have the indigency board meeting. So do some of you guys. Mr. Phillips, you'll be on board from now on. We do make a conscious effort.
Certain shows. Andrew, do you want to say anything about your department? I know you've short-handed, I believe, a couple of attorneys, perhaps.
I'm sorry, Judge?
Are you short-handed and still a couple of attorneys?
We, and that's kind of reflected in what Judge Chitty gave you if you look at salaries. I've been doing this, I think, for 7 years now, and there's literally only been a couple of months during that time that we've been fully staffed. There's a lot of different reasons for that, but if you'll see the actual expenditures not mentioned, or matching rather the budget, that's really the explanation for that. So, yes, as far as attorney-wise, we're kind of constantly working on a skeleton crew, but that's just sort of the nature of the business. But I obviously come at this from a little bit different perspective than the judges. I mean, we're being asked to provide a service to a client, and that's obviously our first priority. But we also understand this is taxpayer money. Myself, everybody that works in my office lives and pays taxes in Kaufman County. So we want to be good stewards as well and be as efficient as possible. I have visited privately with some of the judges as far as misdemeanor level cases. I think we may be in a position where we could take on a little bit more felony-wise. We're about where we should be. We disposed of just less than 1,000 cases last year, 946, I believe, and probably on pace to do about that again this year, even short-staffed. So I guess my only comment is just to compliment the folks that do work in my office. There's nobody backing up to the pay table on Friday. Everybody's doing the best we can to get cases resolved.
Judge, let me echo what Mr. Jordan talked about. We're caught up in our court. And what I mean by that is, years ago, we'd have a typical docket call of maybe 120 defendants charged with a crime on a Thursday. So we'd have 120 people coming in. We've whittled that down to about 30. It's not me, it's like Mr. Jordan's office, the other lawyers, the DA's office know that they're not going to keep resetting these cases forever. Which if you keep resetting cases forever and ever, that means more times the lawyers show up, more times the DAs show up. It takes forever to get through with the docket, which means at the bottom line, you're spending more money paying for attorney visits, and we don't have any more. So we're caught up. It's not that we're looking for a job or work to do, but whereby the docket might usually run all morning and up until around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of times we're through, at least with our docket, by 11 o'clock. And that's just nothing but we're reducing the number of people coming in every 2 weeks, which eventually saves people money.
Which allows you, all of you, to move forward with some of the civil dockets that you have, that you perhaps.
Judge Blair and I are happy to hear Judge Jones is caught up. We've got some disputed family law matters that we can refer down to him.
I'm sure he will welcome it. And I think we would be remiss if we didn't also talk about the CPS attorneys. Last year, and I know you gentlemen have met with the presiding judge, I believe, over the CPS cases that are actually held in this courtroom. Last year, I believe we spent $251,000, $250,000 on CPS cases. And this year, we budgeted $180,000 with the idea that we believed that that number was going to go down. And if you look through on the second page of your handout that you have here, through the first quarter, we spent $45,000. So we're on track to see a reduction on those CPS cases too. Judge, you want to speak to that? I know you.
Just very briefly, Judge, Judge Lockmiller is the CPS judge. He's from Lamar County, and he's been in the same seat you're in. He has been county judge at one time up in Lamar, so he's very sensitive to these issues.
Bless his heart.
And we have met, all of us judges have met with Judge Lockmiller, and Judge Jones, who has primary responsibility for monitoring the CPS docket, has done a good job, I think, of carving at those expenses. So I compliment Judge Jones and Judge Lockmiller for keeping an eye on that. I think they're doing a good job.
That was a significant cost to us last year, and so it's obviously that whatever you're doing, it made a big difference in that as well. Gentlemen, do you have any other comments of the judges and everything?
Appreciate everything y'all are doing.
Appreciate your hard work.
Great report, and I think it's great for the community to hear as well, and so we appreciate you being here. Even though you're caught up, Judge, you may want to go back to your courtroom, so we will dismiss you.
Thing to do.
Come on next door, and I think you perked the interest of Judge Blair and Judge Chitty.
I think we can help him out.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, that's a good report. Bill is working like it should be working. All right, the next item is from our tax assessor collector, Ms. Ratcliffe, to present her tax report for the month of March 2015. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Commissioners. Of our adjusted tax levy, which is right at around $30.6 million, this month we collected $519,446 for M&O and $60,410 for INS, and for Road and Bridge, $84,206. Now, our total collections year to date are $29,133,325. And for Road and Bridge, total collections are $4,268,969. That's where we are right now, as we stand.
I believe that'd be through the first 6 months of the year, so you've still got 6 months to go. So just by extrapolating these numbers on out, it would appear that we're going to be, we'll meet a budget numbers.
I certainly hope so. You do budget high when you ask me to get 98%.
We have high expectations.
But it appears that you are doing that, and the guys, the one and Ms. Ratcliffe, please look at the rollback taxes there. That is a significant amount, and as you recall, we didn't budget any of that, so that money will that will help us in our budget in many ways. And that's just an example of the activity that's going on in the county with building wise. So that's good news also. Anybody have any questions of Ms. Ratcliffe? All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Shane and a second from Commissioner Rosali to approve the tax assessor's report for March 2015. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed. Thank you.
I do also want to remind everybody, early voting starts today and goes through May 5th, and voting day is Saturday, May 9th. And our last resale, as you may recall, we sold almost half the properties. We had 46 properties up for sale, and we sold 22 of them and brought in about $53,000. We're planning on our next sale at the end of June, probably in Maybank. So we'll have some more properties again.
Thank you very much. Next item is Ronnie Oldfield to present for us to accept the treasurer's report for March 2015. Mr. Oldfield.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Yes. The general fund had a beginning balance of $14,822,875.08. It had receipts for the month of March of $1,317,735.75 and disbursements of $3,283,186.69, yielding an ending balance of $12,857,424.14. And on the next page, we'll get to our quarterly report. on the quarterly basis on January 1st, 2015. We began the quarter with $7,885,685.88. We've had receipts for the first 3 months, or for the months January 1st through March 31st, 2015, of $14,465,826.49, disbursements of $9,494,088.23, for an ending balance of $12,857,424.14. And I wanted to we've gone through, the investments haven't changed. We've got all of the documents with Tex Pool to transfer the responsible party. Carol and I have been issued our new PIN numbers. I talked to Tex Pool representatives on Friday. We are obtaining some account transcripts so that we can see the history on our accounts. Because we've got, as you can see on the page 2 on the quarterly report, we've got Tex Pool .001, 3, 5, 6, and 7. Those are different accounts. And what's listed here is the principal balance, the money we initially put in. The interest that's earned is down in the Tex Pool interest box. So what we have is in accounts 1, 5, and 7, we've got some residual interest that's still remaining in that account that's not been swept out. And I want to make sure that, because interest earnings sometimes follows the money, and it might go to the road and bridge bond fund, the road bond fund, because it was interest on bonds. So I'm just trying to go slowly, Commissioner Allen. You know, I said last month I thought we'd get it done before this meeting, but I'm trying to be deliberate and intentional, building history, so that when we move the money, we don't make a mistake with $50 that really causes somebody heartburn. Now then, lastly, I want to take a couple more minutes of your time, because the next page, and by next month we'll have our pages paginated, so we won't say next page, we'll say page 3. And page 3 this is a form that you've seen through history. We've, with the assistance of KW, this is a report that has, each of these lines is a separate, unique bank account at American National Bank. Okay? So we have a wire transfer, we have the federal seized cash, the asset forfeiture cash. Those are individual bank accounts at the bank. The following 2 pages, which are pages 4 and 5, those are the general ledger accounts that are contained within what we operate as the general fund and refer to generically as the general fund. But the general fund is 010. A designated line item in the general ledger. And so are all of these other accounts. They are, known as cash accounts. But all of those funds are commingled into one general fund account at the bank, from which we write, the vast majority of our checks, deposit the vast majority of our income. And again, I thought this would just give you more of a tangible visual picture about the county's business. And again, as I learn, I'm just going to keep sharing. So we've made that change, and we've been examining best practices from the Treasury function. So you'll see as we go through the reports for the next quarter on a month-by-month basis, we're going to keep changing and modifying these to implement best practices, and more than likely we'll show you things before we bring it to court, so that you're not surprised. So it's not just showing up in your briefing packet, but it's a change that we've talked to you about and made our position clear.
Anybody have any questions for the treasurer?
No question, I'd just like to make a comment that I appreciate this report. It really lets you see where we're at on the different accounts, you know.
It was helpful to me, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ron.
And then one last thing, again, because it's not included in this report, and you know, I've visited with the judge, and we've got a process that we're working through, but we want to keep you informed about the bank account that's managed by American Traffic Solutions. These are funds that are not receipted into the county treasury. There's disbursements from the account that are not made from the county treasury. We have received last week a disbursement into our county account. I believe the amount is $7,700, $7,000. So this U.S. bank account has transferred additional funds to Kaufman County's custody, and that's like I say, we'll just work through this to make sure we're complying with the state, but I wanted to keep you informed. Any questions here? Anything, any instructions you want to give me? I mean, just let me know.
Okay, we have item 5, and I believe Ronnie is going ahead and giving us the quarterly report too, and that's good. So do we have any questions on item number 5 as far as accepting the treasurer's monthly report?
Motion accepted.
We have a motion from Commissioner Allen. Do we have a second? Second. Commissioner Rosales seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. On item number 6, the treasurer's quarterly report ending March 2015. We've heard the report from the treasurer. Do you have any questions? If not, I'll accept the motion. Commissioner Shane makes a motion to accept the report from the treasurer. Commissioner Rosales seconds that report. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
All righty. The next item, number 7, is to discuss and consider approving approving retirement donation of K9 Arnie to Deputy Wesley Moyer. This is from Chief Evans, I believe. You'd like to come up and tell us a little bit about Arnie.
He's a good dog. You bring Arnie today? Arnie is a 5.5-year-old shepherd. He's been with the sheriff's office for a little over 4 years. He's cross-trained. He's probably one of the most active canine dogs that we've had at the sheriff's office. But as of late, his hips are going out. He has arthritis. The veterinarian says that it'd be best for him just to be retired and just to live a lazy dog's life. And Wesley Moyer, he's the handler of Arnie right now. He really cares for the dog a great deal, and he would like to have him do that.
Have any questions of Chief Evans in that regard? Sound like he served us well.
He did very well.
What does a canine dog normally cost when you have to replace one?
Just depends on what you get. Have a cross-trained dogs or just a regular narcotic dog, but anywhere from 5 to 10 to maybe 12,000.
What are you referring to as cross-trained? What do they do? Other than
Tracking, things like that.
Okay.
Like somebody's committed a crime, you're trying to track them down.
Yes.
Kind of like is there use bloodhounds on anything?
Yes, we hadn't got any good results from the bloodhounds at the sheriff's office.
How soon you gonna replace the dog?
We're not real sure yet.
How many do we currently have?
3.
3 left after Arnie's gone?
Was Arnie used during the Brownlow case?
He was the one that actually found Brownlow in the creek.
Give him a start.
All right, gentlemen, what's your pleasure on item number 7?
Make a motion.
Have a motion from Commissioner Rosales, second from Commissioner Shane. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, thank you, Chief.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Item number 8 is to discuss and consider approving the behavioral guidelines form for indigent health care services.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
I had a situation the other day. We do not have anything in place as far as behavioral with our clients. I had a doctor's office to call me. I had one of my clients to behave and be disrespectful and disruptive at the doctor's office, to the point where he was about ready to give up the whole program, period. Now, these doctors, they do this on a voluntary basis. It's not something that they have to do. They just do it to help out. So I've called other counties, see if they had anything in place, and I think I gave y'all what they have in place. I sent that to Rebecca. Rebecca looked over it. The only thing she added was the appeal. That's just to give somebody the chance to give their side of the story on, you know, what actually happened. But of course, if the doctor sends us a letter, we will have to go with what the doctor, you know, wants to do at that point.
So here we are trying to help somebody get medical care, and they go act the fool
Yes, sir.
basically at the doctor's office.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't add up very good.
No.
No.
No. And like I said, I had to talk with the doctor's office and, you know, tell them that we would put something in place so that way, if this ever happened again, you know, or it would never happen again, is basically what I'm trying to tell the doctor. You know, we're just not going to allow it with our program.
Okay, gentlemen, you have a copy of the behavioral guidelines that are presented here. Do you have any questions?
I think that Rebecca approved or John Long approved, and we can go with it.
It's been run by council.
I sent it through Rebecca.
Rebecca, you want?
We've met about it. She sent us an example document, and it looks good. I think it's a good idea, especially if they're having incidences that are making the providing doctors feel uncomfortable or unsafe in any way. I think it's definitely reasonable to ask people to behave in a certain way whenever they're in a doctor's office.
I did call the state, if that, you know, for Chapter 61, I did call the state on this, and they said actually that's just something that's not mentioned in there. But now I do know that our program, the county can decide what they want to do, if they want to put something in it. And I just, again, like Rebecca said, for the safety of our providers, I think we need to have something like this in place.
Thank you. Okay, gentlemen, what's your pleasure on item number 8? Commissioner Allen makes that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Rosales seconds the motion. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Rebecca, why don't you and John come up to the jury box with any questions? Is John still here? I think I saw him. Yeah. That way we can have him front and center here if we have any questions.
You're hiding.
Okay, item number 9 is to discuss and consider a request from Spartan Development to redirect County Road 257 and abandon part of County Road 257. Commissioner Allen asked us to have this on the agenda.
Yeah. Mr. Eggery's here.
Ricardo Boyd.
Yes. And you guys would like to go ahead and address the court? You have maps for everyone?
Yes. Speak up so everybody here, hopefully can hear.
I believe my fingers are dry, as much rain as we've had.
Can we have one, please?
Good morning, my name is Mark Edgar with Huff Hines Communities. We are the developer of Heartland, and Ricardo Boyd with Gowdy Anderson Engineers is a consultant for our project. We appreciate you considering this request from us as we continue development at Heartland. As we were moving along, we knew the time was eventually going to come where our development was going to overlap County Road 257. The area that we are developing, let me kind of describe 257, it's really in two parts. From where the residents are located, there's a square located off of County Road 257 to the south of where our development is being shown. And if you go north on that towards FM 741, the road's generally been passable. It's been very well maintained. They've been able to get in and out of there. If they try to go the opposite direction it's a mud hole. And Mr. Allen knows, he's been in that area quite a bit. The residents cannot even get into the, with all the rain we had, they cannot access their property that route. So what we're looking to do is, as we continue development right now around it, we're gonna have to rely and try to get 2 weeks of dry weather. We're gonna have to have a week that's gonna dry out the road to the south. And then it's gonna take us a week to rebuild and relocate the County Road 257 on the northern end. The route that you see shown on there, we've got an existing 44-foot wide road called Sunnybrook Lane. And we're going to connect County Road 257 to Sunnybrook Lane to give them a permanent access or temporarily permanent access coming out that way. As development occurs, we're going to relocate it again and continue that lane open to them and for them. I think that's what we're asking for, is just your consideration of this request. Heartland will be responsible for maintaining this section of relocated roadway, so the county will not have to maintain that. As we reconstruct this roadway, we will assume maintenance of that section of roadway that we do on the relocation. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Is this the Sunnybrook Road right here you're referring to, the street?
It's this one right over here in the corner.
So you're gonna eliminate this?
We're gonna eliminate,
reroute it up here?
Correct.
And tie it into Sunnybrook? Right?
That is correct. In addition to that relocation, there's 2 water services for the residents that are running along there. We're going to relocate their water services as well and reconnect them back on 257 as part of this roadway relocation.
Mr. Allen, do you have any comments? I guess we need to involve John and Rebecca to see if they have any comments.
My first comment is, it's always useful to have a written memo, because on things like this, it's hard to follow, but we do have a map. And so, could you show me on the map what it is you're saying?
We are, this section, there are some residents right down at this square right down here.
Okay.
There's 2 property owners on the occupants down there.
Okay.
In part of the development, we are going to abandon this section of roadway, and we're going to reconnect the roadway to an existing road over here for their access. We will be maintaining from here to here. Okay. Or wherever that connection point is.
And in this, did you send any notice to the property owners that would be affected?
Yes, we've sent notices to the property owners.
Did you send notice of this hearing?
Yeah, I sent an email to them last week.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And let them know that we are coming, that there were supposed to be 2 hearings on the matter.
Okay.
The first hearing was brought up on the 31st of last month.
Okay.
And then we sent them an email last week letting them know the meeting was also going to be this morning.
Okay.
We also had a meeting at Heartland with them probably about a month ago.
Okay.
And went over this exact map with them and asked if they had any questions or issues. And
did they have any objections?
No, not at all.
Okay. And what piece of there's going to be an abandonment? Where's the abandonment?
The abandonment will be from this connection point to where it connects with 741.
Okay.
It's about 2/4 of a mile, right? It's about 3/4 of a mile. Not even that.
Okay.
And the section that we're rebuilding is a little bit over half a mile.
Okay. So is this developed right now?
It is under construction right now.
Okay. So who's affected by the abandoned property right now?
There are 4.
Just you? If it's just you, okay.
Yeah, we're on both sides.
That's good, because it looks like there's a lot of people, but really this is in the future.
I like that for him, so.
Yeah, that's all vacant right now.
Good, okay.
Thank you.
I thought there's a lot of people affected, but.
Yeah, this will give you a better map of
Right.
everything within red is what is being developed right now.
Okay.
These homes are constructed and delivered, so what's in red is the construction.
But specifically, the part to be abandoned, the only one that is affected is you.
Yes.
Right now. Okay, good, okay. Well, you got these 2 records
Or it's here,
here, yeah. They're on the same side.
yes. It's UST hyphen Heartland LLP.
But it's all one.
Yes, it's all one.
Okay.
It hasn't been divided yet.
And so, and Rebecca was saying arguably these 2 pieces are also affected by the abandonment. They had notice of the hearing.
Correct.
They spoke with you.
All 4 homeowners.
Yeah.
Okay, all 4.
Correct.
Okay.
The one that you're seeing.
Thank you.
These are actually our mud district directors.
So this is what's been platted, but just so I'm clear in the record, it's clear the part to be abandoned, although the map you passed out shows a lot of houses, they're not there.
They are not.
So, okay.
That is the implication.
That's a lot of people that live out in the cold.
It is.
Thank you.
John, do you have any other questions or problems?
No, my concern was just, if there was an abandonment based on this, of how many people would be affected, and that the answer is one, and it's you. And that kind of solidifies that, and if the redirection, is the road and the redirection going to be equal to or better than the existing one?
Yes.
Yes. That's all I have.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I got one question. This is a temporary reroute. Where is the permanent road gonna be? Is it gonna connect to this road right here?
As development occurs, we start continuing south. We've got a master plan for the entire development that'll run into 2032, I think is what the current plan is. So as development occurs down here, eventually there will be a concrete roadway that'll connect right at this point.
Okay.
I think we've currently got about a 20-foot to 30-foot buffer running along this property line to shelter us, but that will be a short connection to the concrete road at this point.
What I'm getting at is right now the road goes all the way through.
Correct.
And we're gonna reroute it and tie it into this street, so it continues to go through. But it goes right through the middle of the Crandall ISD Future Elementary School, so at some point it's not gonna go through there.
It's gonna be rerouted again.
I mean, it will continue to be a through road, or will it be, eventually be cut off and become a dead end?
This section will be cut off. No, it will never be a dead end. This section will always connect into a public road on this side of it. So at this point, we're gonna connect with the temporary road around this public road. As development occurs, the connection length is gonna get that much shorter.
Right.
At some point, it may only be a 30-foot connection to a public road.
But right now, the only through access I see would be this road right here. So is it gonna eventually, all this is gonna be houses, so it,
This whole thing is gonna be houses, everything over in this vacant area. This is a relocation of County Road 741 that we've discussed and got initial approval from TxDOT.
yeah,
Correct, I'm
FM
sorry.
741.
Yes, FM 741. That instead of coming out and around through our development, we're now going to give a more direct route to get between Point and Crandall. And so, as you see this little section here, this was something that was actually discussed probably Friday, was if we've got a land plan for this small area here, we're likely gonna end up revising this alignment to follow the future roads so that we only have to move it once.
Okay, so this may eventually
It
tie
may
into
eventually tie in there,
something
but
to make it that.
whatever that rerouting is, Harlan's responsible for maintaining that section of road.
In the one you're going into temporary, these people are not gonna be inconvenienced whatsoever to get in and out during the construction of the road.
Once we can get this built, that is correct.
Okay.
The inconvenience right now is, we have had two instances where, because of all the mud, the utility contractor showed up on Monday last week and had materials being delivered. The truck couldn't back up off the county road to get onto the site to drop it. They dropped it on the side of the road, and they had two front-end loaders trying to move it off the road as quick as they could. One of the residents came down the road at that time and got upset that they were inconvenienced. So
I got a phone call now.
Okay, I'll take a comment on the email response. The contractor, they've since come in and we put a bypass to go around that staging area for the contractors with all the mud that we're getting. We built a secondary little road base that they can get around.
They're gonna put more gravel on top of it, but the mud from the acid is pretty nasty going through there.
I haven't been out there to see it recently. I'll go back out and check it out. And they should be maintaining it.
Quite a bit of mud on it.
As soon as, if we can get approval on this, it's as soon as we can get some dry weather, we're gonna move in there and try to relocate this road and get it open for them so that they don't have any interruption, any conflict with any of the construction we've got going on.
Other questions from the commission? John?
I do have something I have to request. When they vote on the abandonment, and you've indicated on the map where it is, could you provide us afterwards of how many feet that is, where it starts, how many stops?
Sure.
You can attach a copy of that, so that, because the way it reads, it says a portion of the road, which we understand, but so that the record is accurate, it's this many feet from this point to this point.
What we believe to do is, correct me if I'm wrong, Ricardo, we've got, we're almost to the point, probably got 90% plans for the relocation of that roadway. It'll just show the alignment of it, showing the drainage pipes that we need to go underneath that roadway to make sure it's not gonna be overflowed or anything else. and we can send you a copy of those plans and approvals whenever we're done, that'll show the lengths and everything else associated with it.
Okay, but I'm talking about
this exhibit is really what you need.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
you need this.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm.
Certainly.
Yeah. Great.
And in the future, I think for all of us, it would be good, because John sends me, sometimes a very pointed email that we do need, some, clarification, written clarification.
Okay.
And I've noticed these emails are becoming a little sharper, so, and like you've been working on this for how many years now?
A few.
A few, so when we have something like this, it would be good to have as much information in print as we can.
Okay, sure.
Should I send that directly to your office?
Well, you can, if the court votes on it and they approve it, you can send it to the court, which is fine. The other thing I was gonna ask too is, are any of the, other property owners here today?
I don't believe there is.
Okay.
Well, I think that's a good question.
Okay.
They said he had one in Heartland and one in.
Thank you.
Yes.
Newspaper, was the advertisement on this in the newspaper, or how was it?
Shouldn't this be published as a public meeting twice?
The statute does not specifically require that. In the past, we've recommended having a couple meetings, public meetings on it, just so that if the property owners would like to come in and ask any questions, that they have a public format to do that. We've now heard it in the court twice, so I don't know.
Yeah. My question is, should it have been posted as a public comment?
No,
Public meeting, public comment?
it does not have to.
Harlan did, you knew about that, okay.
We did send the registered letters to the adjacent property owners when we first started the process. And then the second time, today's meeting, Mark really emailed the adjacent property owners.
Well, and my concern on the abandonment is who's affected, and it's you that's affected, and I assume you have no opposition to, because you're here for it.
All right, gentlemen, do you have other questions?
Do we need anything else? Does he need to get that footage to you before we vote on this?
He does not. He doesn't, because it's depicted in the map, so there's a fairly clear idea of exactly where it is. It's just so that we'll know for future things.
As long as John assures local government code criteria for abandonment of a road.
If I may procedurally, should we do a boundary of the prescriptive right of way?
I think that's a good idea. I think we should do that. Yeah.
I don't want to hold this up today, but we can certainly follow up with the prescriptive right of way.
And we, and I'm not saying we don't know, because we do know with some specificity exactly where it is. I mean, this isn't a rough drawing, this is not presumably very accurate.
I think for the county records, it'd be a lot cleaner though, if there was a formal right boundary.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll do.
But that can be supplemented. We don't need to wait 2 weeks to get something.
But as far as action today, we're okay to move forward as far as the attorneys are concerned. Okay. All right, gentlemen, do you have any other questions?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion from Commissioner Allen and a second from Commissioner Shane to approve this item. Do we have any other comments?
Okay, I just want to make sure through John's office that we meet all the criteria of abandonment of the road, or the local government code. Pat, I'm good.
All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Thank you very much. Before y'all leave, I know this is a large development, no question about that for our county. Have you been contacted by Freeze and Nichols concerning a developers meeting that we're trying to have in the county as far as county road transportation plan? Okay, be sure to let me know, and I would think it would be very helpful. We're doing a thoroughfare plan in the county, and we're trying to get all of the developers that we know of, and it'll be a meeting held, I believe, in Forney in another 2 or 3 weeks, and I think it might be helpful if you folks were there. And we're trying to contact as many of the developers that we have, and
we would like to have that.
Yeah, I think it would be helpful for everybody. Just make sure that we're kind of that we're all on the same page.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. appreciate your interest in Kaufman County and helping us develop quality subdivision.
It's getting better. It's getting better. It's been a tough couple of years, and if I may just add in where Heartland's at, the average home sale price out there was probably around $135,000 5 years ago. Our average right now is about $185,000, topping out at about $230,000. We're trying to bring on what's not in this current plan. We're trying to bring on some more lots that'll push the $250,000 to $300,000 range. We've got a lot of interest. The realtors are back involved in it. We're actively involved with Crandall ISD and Flosport, everything that they're doing for their children. We're hoping the school site comes on sooner than later with the development we've got going on. And we really enjoy being in Kaufman County and especially with the city of Crandall as well. So we enjoy being here.
Thank you very much. You appreciate the call, y'all. Okay. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Judges, clarification, it was a unanimous vote, wasn't it?
Yes. Good. I didn't vote other hand. Unanimous. I vote aye. All righty. Item number 10 is to discuss and consider advertising a bid for tree and brush removal along all county roads and all precincts. And I believe we have about 4 different items that are kind of like this, including ditches and mowing and seal coating. So, Jack, I believe Commissioner Shane will place these on the agenda.
Yes, I thought I would have some information on, what the bid should look like to help Jack along. TxDOT was gonna get me their generic, bids that they do, and so I didn't receive them yet. David Jobit and TxDOT is working on their copies of their bids, so that, we'll have a generic bid to work off of.
I do,
Jack.
yes, I do have several questions. I will need some kind of spec for you guys. You know, there's obvious questions are, you know, like weed eating and mailboxes and road signs and width of property line and ditches, I guess both sides. You know, finding the right of way, liability, who they call when there's a problem. I know they're probably working 5-7 days a week. In some cases we work 4 days. Who they call, qualifications. You know, why everybody and brother sign up to do this. There's a lot of unknowns here.
Right.
I'm assuming we're going to wrap those up.
Was doing research to see where I could find it at, and talked to Hal Stanford over here at TxDOT, and he said that this is the man to go to, that he will get with us and get us some bids. So we need to table them till the next meeting, or,
Well, this is the first step.
It is, of course, on my end, it's just permission to advertise, and the gentleman provide a set of specs and we'll.
with us working towards getting a generic, bid out.
And I guess would a state highway be the same spec as a county road?
Well, it's pretty close, it should be pretty, there shouldn't be that much
Is there
difference.
a possibility we could maybe get some sample contracts from other counties or?
Yeah, I can reach out, and it's probably better if you know some commissioners have done this. I'm not aware of anybody that's done this.
I'll see what I can find.
I don't know, we're gonna try to do something different here.
Is there, I guess the next question would be a funding source, is there?
Right.
Well, since it's an off-state road, since it's a state road anyway, it'd be under the same contract as a state highway.
Yeah, these are actually TxDOT off-system roads.
It's an off-system road.
Is what they consider our county roads.
What you say, they're all against the highway, is that what you're saying?
No, TxDOT is in control of all of our county roads. They're what they call off-system roads because they're not on their maintenance system. But actually, TxDOT is in charge and over all of our county roads. That's why they do the bridges for us, you know, help us with the bridges, because they are responsible, they're the ultimate, they have the ultimate responsibility for mobilization in the state. So we could probably piggyback off their contracts because they are actually TxDOT right-of-ways. But I'll call some commissioners and see what I can find. The reason I think this would be a good idea is because the weather's been so bad, we've been set back, you know, for months now, not being able to do any maintenance, and the asphalt seal coat season is so short, you know, that you can get a good product when you do that, get a good result. And maybe, you know, we did have the road bond money, and we need to utilize that, but our window's gonna be so close this year to spend that money and actually make some, progress on these roads, that this would help us if we can maybe, bid out the ditch cleaning or the tree removal. That will allow us to do, you know, the stabilization and the seal coating that we need to do, or vice versa, you know. So I think it'd be a good idea, see what we can come up with. We can move money around in our budgets. We all have contract labor line items that we could put money into to pay this out of. So we'll see what we come up with, and hopefully we can get a better result for our taxpayers, you know, at the end of the year.
I look forward to receiving those specs, because there are a lot of unknown items on there. And it was presented that all precincts were gonna do this, and Commissioner Allen, indicated you were not going to.
I'm trying to do my own, but I'll be glad to look at it.
I think it's an option for us.
Yeah, I'm willing to look at the numbers and see, you know, we're limited as to what we can do by the number of positions in our budget. You know, we can't hire more people because we don't have the money in our budgets this year. So that would be a way to get more done with the money that we have without changing our entire budgets.
And we will also need to know on my end how much money we're gonna dedicate to this. Because you're gonna do so many roads based on what that number is.
I think most of it's gonna be bidded on the miles per road.
Yeah, it'd be per
So
foot of the
when you
pipe.
put it out, you'd be putting it out as a mile per road bid, not as a.
Well, what I'm saying is, how many miles do you wanna do?
Yeah, oh, I get you.
Well, it depends
I'm just
on
saying,
cost.
that's the way we'd have to bid it out.
This
because
means we're
we
going out
change.
to bid to see what the cost factor is. It may be outside, or it may be in the ballpark that we can use these.
And one of my bigger concerns, and maybe the specs will clear that up, is what the qualifications are.
Right.
Because everybody and the brothers wanna call me, wanna clean the ditches.
Well, they'll have to meet our county insurance requirements, naturally.
We have a lot of things that they'll have to meet.
Well, we don't smack out there and buy them a great all, and all of a sudden they're in the ditch cleaning business too.
Well, we need to look at company history, you know, like you would at any bid.
That's the reason I reached out to Tech Stop, because, you know,
They already have qualified bidders.
Right.
When would you anticipate starting some of this work?
July.
I mean, you could possibly pay some of it out of this year's budget, some out of
Next year's, yeah.
budget too. So,
Yeah,
you know,
McKenna's got that road, he's got a build up there, you know, at the rock pit, and everybody's got issues on every road except Commissioner Phillips. He's in pretty good shape. Everybody's got a full agenda, you know.
Bought a new mower, and then I got my mowing route already routed out, so for this year, I mean, I'm already.
So probably
well,
the
he'll
lowest
own
would
that.
be 3 precincts possibly, you know.
That's great.
But I won't be using that.
All righty, so do I have a motion to table item 11?
Judge, I
10,
think,
11,
Judge, I think,
12, 13, and 14?
I don't know.
No,
13.
10 through 13.
I don't know that table, I mean, right now, what I'm seeking is permission to advertise.
For bids.
Okay.
So,
I'll make a
if
motion
you give me
to
that,
approve.
then, but just be aware that it won't go out till I get the specs.
Till you get
Right,
the-
right.
This will take care of.
On my end,
You're
yes, sir.
starting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. All right, so do we have, we can vote on these individually, probably should, just as a matter of record. So do we have a motion considering item number 10 on the tree and brush removal?
I'll make a motion.
Commissioner Rosali makes a motion. Commissioner Allen seconds the motion. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Item number 11 is to discuss and consider advertising a bid for cleaning ditches along county roads in all precincts. Do I have a motion? Have a motion from Commissioner Shane. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Rosali. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Item number 12 is to discuss and consider advertising a mowing along county roads in all precincts. Do you have a motion? Have a motion from Commissioner Shane. Do you have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Rosalik seconds. Where am I on 13? Number 13 is to discuss and consider advertising a bid for seal coating of county roads in all precincts. Do I have a motion? Commissioner Shane, second. Commissioner Rosalik. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Okay, thank you very much. And that moves us forward on that. Now let's move to item number 14, and that is to discuss and consider advertising a bid for security equipment in county and various county buildings.
Jim, we kind of touched on this last week, or at our meeting Friday. While we are using a current vendor, he's doing a really outstanding job. We're getting that dollar amount, that's going to be over $50,000, because we're having several areas that need security issues resolved. So I'm seeking permission to advertise for that. And you gentlemen know your area, so if you've got certain areas there that need to be looked at, I'm gonna give it George York, he's our resident expert on cameras, what have you. But I'll need to put a bid out, because we are getting to a higher dollar amount than I'm comfortable with.
And this would be just for the installation of the cameras and stuff?
This would be what,
the equipment itself?
Exactly. We're talking about access control, we're talking about panic buttons, cameras, the whole ball wax.
It's not monitoring, it's just Vista buying and installing them.
But our IT department is in charge of this, so this would be them bidding out the labor to actually physically install the equipment.
It's gonna be labor and material all in one thing. So we'll have the vendor furnish, we don't wanna have we're not gonna furnish the panic buttons and the access controls, and that's what we put in. That'll be all part of the RFP. So is what we have now inadequate, or we don't have enough, or? We've got some stuff that's kind of out of date, and George probably speaks to that better than I can, but some stuff's out of date. Some areas, like, we just did upstairs, for instance, that had not been done. I know Precinct 3 has several items they're looking at with access controls and different doors and such, so we have several areas that may not have this technology.
The panic buttons don't work because they're analog and pointing up digital, so it doesn't work with them.
You should be panicking over anyway.
They can't panic it when they're safe.
And Judge, I will say, we have issues, certain areas where the panic button, we're not gonna wait on that. I'm gonna get down, if we have an issue there, safety will take care of that. But
they had a little incident the other day, so they found out they didn't work.
They did panic then.
Then they did panic.
All right, what do you want to do
Make
about
motion.
number 14?
Make a motion to advertise for bids for security.
We have a motion from Commissioner Bozalik, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Allen seconds the motion. Any other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Do you have a date when that's gonna open or close?
I do not.
All righty, item number 15 is to discuss and consider awarding bid number 15-06, waste hauling for county-wide cleanup.
Jim, I believe you have a copy of that tabulation. We just got that finalized late last week. If you don't, I've got a copy here. Anybody needs a copy?
I don't have one.
I think I emailed it to you guys, and you click through. I didn't see it. You got one? So it did reach some of y'all? Very good.
It may be on mine.
Jack, can I have one, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
So what we're looking at, and we've been working with the vendors. I want to thank Precinct 1. I think they found the Ferris bunch. That helped us get this thing where we can maybe have a cleanup.
It's hard to imagine that our main trash service in Kaufman County, Progressive, wouldn't bid and try to help us out on the county cleanup. That's kind of inconceivable, but I guess it is.
It's a change in industry for sure.
Well, we have somebody with vast experience on the court, that you would have thought.
I called them. I talked to them, and they didn't help. I talked to, even Dr. Moore and CWD.
Is it
Moore
because it's on the
430
weekend?
yards on one. The trouble they're having is that it's their busy time of the year. Everybody's building, and all 30 yards out. They can't supply that many 30 yards.
Oh,
But I think you found who?
Doesn't have
Did you find Ferris?
Ferris, yeah.
Yeah. Because I actually called down there too. They said they had some cans. They'd talked to you already. But
Gentlemen, the recommendation award is item 1. Community waste is low bid on that site. Item 2, community is also low on that site, but if you remember, or you may or may not know, that CWD, excuse me,
They have a 16 haul maximum on Friday. That's all they'll haul 16 times. So I talked to the low bidder, Community Waste, and he agreed to give up that slot to Ferris, which was the second low bidder. And site number 3, Community Waste is low, and site number 4, Ferris is actually low, and then site number 5, Community Waste is low. So recommend award sites 1, 3, and 5 to Community Waste, and sites 2 and 4 to Ferris. That will allow Community Waste to be under the 16 hauls on that Friday. And some of you new gentlemen, you may not be aware, but we've kind of been a little flexible with the vendors. If the low bidder's willing, it may be more areas that he can handle. And Community Waste felt comfortable with the 3 sites. So I think this is a good situation. We also had a bid from A&R Trash Service. They were not low on any item, but we certainly appreciate their efforts. We have used in the past.
Okay, do you have any questions for Jack on the countywide waste hauling?
Yes, I'd say I appreciate you doing it.
Yeah, thank you, Jack. Looking a little iffy there for a while.
It was. We have a motion from Commissioner Shane. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Rosales seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Oh, Jack, before you sit down, just as a reminder, we will soon be having an auction, I believe, in the next 30, 45 days.
We'll take pictures Friday.
Yeah, and if they have items they want in the auction, they still have time to.
They have, and we have pictures already for some equipment. I think you guys may have 1 or 2 pieces that you want to add. You got our. So, and I'll check back to everybody, make sure that we're not missing something.
And that would be for any other county department as well.
That's correct.
So,
Thank you. You bet.
Judge, is the countywide cleanup this weekend?
no, it's March, March.
There's a flyer right up here, right there. Right here.
Flyers, okay.
And it's, we need to get the word out. It's got a lot of, we're doing tires and electronics.
We've got several time frames.
Yeah, and so it's a good deal.
Mine 15, 16.
I've got some applications for volunteers. It's precinct 1 site.
Yeah, Ronnie?
And 4.
Oh, 1,
All righty, item number 16 is to discuss and consider assigning the Affordable Care Act Reporting and Tracking Services ART program in agreement with the Texas Association of Counties, which is our health care provider.
Good morning. This is a contract with TAC to help and assist with our tracking of our Affordable Health Care Act that we have to provide. We talked about this briefly on Friday. It's no cost to the county. It's simply just to help us throughout this year to file the proper forms that we have to file in January of 2016 with IRS. So TAC has graciously created this program, and I would like to participate.
Okay, we did discuss this in our workshop Friday. Anybody have any other questions that weren't cleared up on Friday?
I think we're pretty good. I think we're pretty good to go. Make a motion that we approve.
We have a motion from Commissioner Phillips to approve, or to approve the motion. There's a second from Commissioner Allen. Do we have any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. Thanks, Lauren. Thank you, Lauren. Item number 17 is to discuss line item transfers. Auditor is armed with lots of information.
You all have any questions on the line item transfers? I don't believe you already received those by email.
I do not have any.
Did you throw a trickle in on us this time like last time?
We didn't study for the test, so.
There's no test today.
Anybody have any questions about the line item transfers? Not, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Phillips makes that motion. Commissioner Shane Seconds the motion. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed. Next is the claim for payment.
Claims for payment is $749,449.72.
On page 4, the main packet, the outside audit, $22,000.
Yes, sir.
Is that audit complete? Is that like a partial payment?
That's a partial payment. We wind up, usually the audit cost is about $38,500. So we're at a very reasonable amount, where we were paying $60,000 to $70,000 for an audit.
So they're what, 50% complete?
They're finished with their work. We should be getting a report soon.
That's gonna be my next question, if we have a report.
Yeah, it'll probably be on your next agenda.
Okay. The next question I had was on page 5, on emergency management, for the parts and repairs. I got this so late, I didn't have time to check it and see.
On Murray Ford, that's
Yeah,
probably his
apparently there was some
major repairs.
Yeah, do you have a receipt on that? Do we know what that was for?
I wouldn't pay to fill it out when I got it.
What page you on?
5 of the big package.
I hit it, mark 2.
Oh, $2,800.
Yeah. You must have it. You move the transmission. Motor.
The labor was $721.95, the parts was $2,040.
Transmission.
Doesn't say, it just says repairs.
That, we had to do one for us, and we're also, is on 1300.
Is that the kind of sheet? Normally you get a sheet that has itemized parts and repairs, yeah.
We have to ask, Steve Huey, because he's the one signed for it and approved it.
Kinda got concerned about him approving that without talking to somebody.
All the dues we're still paying, the Association of County Taxes, different departments, it's little amounts, but.
Yes, sir.
I thought we paid them a $2,500 annual fee.
For the Commissioner's Court, we do, but
Okay.
other people pay the
Okay.
dues, yes, sir. It would depend on what department's listed there, whose department is paying. Precinct 2, that was for the constable and his,
But it was just a minimal amount, I didn't know that.
yes, sir.
Question on this.
Page 13, there's a third item down, $3,600.
You see what I'm saying? In other words, when I try to pull it, in other words, I come down to, like this. These have a count.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there's
That was under bonds. Okay, if you look right back up here, that was postage. Right, that's the sheriff's department.
right, and it says, then it says compressed.
Office supplies, look right here. Parts and repairs. All of this is parts and repairs.
And it all goes on this, going up.
No, It would go under this,
one?
yeah, 3216,560.
Just from my knowledge, I mean, I don't know, couldn't look them up.
That is a juvenile probation fund. It's a reduction program to get crime down.
Okay.
They have some state funds that come in that we have to account for in different.
Well, that was the other thing.
Yes, sir.
On the registration of vehicle, I noticed that we paid Tanya almost on every single one. See, there's one right here.
We have to do that.
But, okay, that's what I'm saying, is it the exempt that?
It's, when you go and get inspected, you don't get an insurance sticker, you come here and it's the registration.
But that's something that we didn't do that before.
It started March 1st.
Yeah,
We've
that's
been
what I'm
doing it,
saying,
yes, sir. Yes, sir, it's a new fee.
Yeah. We're in a whole different here now. Well, I know we are, I just asking what, you know, since.
Yeah, when it's something new like that, that gets a little, you're not used to seeing that, so you wanna know what that is.
It wasn't on any of the rest of them before.
Yeah, that's the only way we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only way we could figure out, we talked with her and decided how we'd do it. We would do just, every 2 weeks, we'd do one check to pay for everybody's vehicles, because we paid 1 week for Road and Bridge 1, or we paid that, we'd be writing her a lot of checks, so she agreed with us that we would do it on a 2-week basis.
Yeah, because before, we just went through the paid the whole bill. Now, you're paying half of it at the license plate, and half of it at the inspection.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, they make money on it. I think that'll give us $14.50.
Audit your lobby for that.
I don't know, there ought to be.
Anybody know him? Something wrong with that deal. Give us some need to know that. What do you think?
Did you ask about the bill for teachers?
We give the highway patrol, you know, a bunch of stuff.
General.
Big pack, Commissioner Allen?
Oh, okay. That looks like ours.
Feels like it.
Probably your way, but it's a commission. Give me a probably feel like they can do that.
Promise you a pothole for that road.
That was the price for an engine, gaskets, seals, and kit.
Big Chevrolet.
For the 36, yeah.
What vehicle was that? Was that one of those new Tahoes?
Hold on, let me see. Replacement motor, just this KSO, and then vendor number. And he's not in here. Jackie, do you remember what vehicle it was that we had to buy an engine for? I don't know what unit number. Yeah, you don't, it's not on here either. What vehicle it is. It's a lot of times they put the unit number on it, but it's not on there.
I understand the Tahoe is not holding up. Like they thought that was going to. I'm getting some reports.
You got any more questions on the bills?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You can't have this copy, but I'm gonna let you look at it. We got back $29,393 from the IRS.
How much did we have to pay to get that?
38. That's what they fined us.
That was the fine?
And then we wrote the letters
And
and
they give us
asked,
back the fine?
they gave us back all of that, but $9,500.
Started out at full amount.
Yeah. And we wrote 2 more letters and begged. We got that Friday and it got deposited.
We're hoping, let's go ahead and take a vote on the bills, that we have a motion to approve the claim for payment. Commissioner Raleigh makes that motion, do we have a second? Commissioner Allen seconds the motion. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? What was I just fixing to say?
You were hoping something. You were hoping.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, senior moment. The auditor, outside auditor, has communicated that we should have an audit, maybe by the first meeting, a completed audit by the first meeting in May, or by very latest the second meeting in May, so it's moving forward. This would be the 13-14 year audit, the one that ended in August, so we hope we get it back fairly quick. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn? Commissioner Phillips makes a motion, Commissioner Allen seconds the motion, all in favor say aye. Those opposed. Thank you, gentlemen. Gentlemen, I forgot at the beginning of the meeting to recognize Ralph Davis and Master Gardner, so I take full responsibility for that.
Yeah, the judge invited us here.
I invited
and
him,
then
That's
the second senior moment.
That's the second. That's just a half a day, too.
It does happen, you know, I do understand. The reason that he asked us to come is we have 4 Master Gardeners here this morning. Rebecca had to go to the doctor's appointment. But Larry and Francis and Jim and Sandra came to represent. They had the State Master Gardener Convention was week before last down in Hill County, and we applied for 2 awards this year. And this association won first place and second place in their programs. They had a program last spring. Basically, it was on backyard poultry. It was at the Forney First Baptist. It was a crowd. This room was absolutely covered up with people who wanted to learn about backyard poultry. And they won first place on the education program on that. It was an excellent program. The chicken's crowing in there.
So just cut their tongue out and then they
Yeah, it was. And Tamara Stallman applied for last year a grant to redo what we call the butterfly garden out here, and she won that grant. And they wrote a program on that, and of course they have since, and she's since applied for another grant. She still won it. So we're going to get a little more money this year to keep redoing the butterfly garden out here in the front. But anyway, I always like to tout my Master Gardeners. I think we have the best association in the state. They do really good work. They know they do. And I try to tell them all the time. But I take no credit for what they do. They're much smarter than I am, and that's where you get good volunteers.
Yep. Well, they take pride in what you do, and I again apologize for asking you to be here and then not remembering to introduce you. But
well, that's okay. I mean, it happens.
Thank y'all for being, it's a lot of work, a lot of work.
We appreciate it.
They do good work all over this county.
They do.
We got, you know, the Heartland guy was here earlier, and we have done for several years. They do a program at Heartland, set up a booth out there, and try to educate those homeowners at Heartland on how to keep up their houses. And, it works out quite well.
And then I believe you brought some additional.
I did, and I did. This box is full of countywide cleanup flyers. We hot off the press. We will print more if we need, but I thought I'd bring some. If y'all want to take them back to y'all's precincts, that'd be good. And Deputy Evans has told me he'd get them to his sheriff's deputies out on patrolman, and they'll pass them out.
I tell you, it would be good if you have time to run them around. Maybe get with Tanya, the tax office, and maybe the sub courthouses as well.
Right.
Maybe y'all can take
I'll take some.
Yeah. We've got more. So this box here, this is just kind of the first run, and I've got some more. I actually will take them to feed stores and everywhere I can put them out around the county, you know, as I drive around on.
More people we get them to, the less trash we have.
That's right. More people got passed them out, everybody will eventually.
We don't like participation.
Yeah, there you go.
A lot of people say they're trash all year long for that.
Y'all got anything to say?
Yeah, why don't-
Yeah.
Judy, you'll get a picture of them, maybe stick it
I
in the
didn't
paper.
bring my camera, I didn't know they were gonna do it. See, it's not on the agenda. You messed up.
I will tell you, the State Master Gardener Convention next year is in Plano, and we have already, Jim was instrumental really in asking me, and I contacted Dale Ham. They're gonna bring a busload of people to do a tour of Ham's peach orchard, and we'll actually probably bring them out here and talk about our rainwater harvesting in the gardens and things that we have going on, all the things we have going on in the county. So it'll be a statewide deal, and we'll have them come to Kaufman County and do a tour for us.
Y'all have anything,
I would like to say that one of our groups that we deal with are called Junior Master Gardeners, and we have a lot of our schools that are instrumental putting gardens in, and of course, like with everybody else, the rain this year is kind of down on that. So we educate the general public, but the most important thing is get these kids when they're little. When you grow up, you don't have to educate them.
And the Junior Master Gardeners kind of new. We've got a whole group of Master Gardeners that have become instrumental in that, and of course, over in Forney is where we're really kind of getting kicked off on the going to the schools, and so we had the kids out there one day digging in that black mud.
I know years ago when we
That's
started
it. You hear me?
Criswell was the first time they did it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really, kids really like that.
Yeah. Anyway, thank y'all for
yeah,
coming.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
and it looked great. Thank you a lot.
Y'all done a great job. Thank you.
I'm gonna leave these right here for y'all.
Thank you.